A lot of people think ISP proxies and residential proxies are basically the same thing. Or they see terms like static residential and assume it's just another label for residential proxies. However, it isn't. And understanding the difference matters greatly if you want stable sessions or lower block rates. The problem is that the proxy industry doesn't make this easy either. The terms are often mixed, reused, or blurred depending on who you ask. I'm Dinora from Proxy Labs, and in this video I'll explain the real differences between residential and ISP proxies and how to choose the right one for your workflow. Let's start with why these two proxy types get mixed up in the first place. You'll often see terms like static residential used interchangeably with ISP proxies. Some providers classify ISP IPs as residential simply because they're issued by consumer ISPs. And without context, it's easy to assume everything with the word residential behaves the same way. The core issue is that people mix up two things: what an IP represents versus how that IP is actually procured and controlled. For this very reason, we at Proxy Labs distinctly separate them to avoid this exact pitfall. Once you do that, the difference becomes much more visible. So here's the clean definition. Residential proxies are IP addresses assigned to real physical households. They come from actual homes, real routers, real devices, and real users, like you and me. Because of that, they have extremely high authenticity and look like normal human traffic to websites. On the other hand, ISP proxies are IP addresses leased directly from internet service providers, but not tied to any household. They look residential to most websites, but they're handled in a controlled environment, typically data centers, and therefore are far more stable. Put simply, residential proxies come from real homes, while ISP proxies come from ISP data centers, and this difference affects how they behave in real-world tasks. That being said, to compare these two properly, don't just memorize the labels, but try the simple framework. Every proxy type can be understood through 4 factors: source, stability, trust level, and performance. Once you look at ISP and residential proxies through those 4 lenses, choosing between them becomes much easier. Since residential proxies come from real user devices, they offer very high trust and excellent entry success, even on difficult websites with anti-bot measures. They're also very effective when you need reliable IP rotation through a large proxy pool or require wide geographic diversity. The trade-off here is control. Since these IPs rely on real users' connections, availability can fluctuate. IPs rotate, speeds vary, and session persistence isn't guaranteed. You can think of it like relying on a massive pool of volunteers worldwide. Highly authentic, but not fully predictable. ISP proxies take a different approach. They use whole IP subnets or their segments directly from ISPs, which give them a residential reputation without relying on individual household connections. Because they are centrally managed, they offer high uptime, consistent speed, and long-running sessions. This makes ISP proxies especially useful for workflows where IP persistence matters, such as login-based processes, account management, checkout flows, or scraping tasks that break if an IP changes mid-session. Functionally, it's like using professional-grade residential IPs, but you miss out on higher subnet diversity, which can raise the risk of your whole stack getting banned if one IP gets flagged while scraping. So, while both proxy types provide trusted consumer IPs, they serve different purposes. Residential proxies prioritize authenticity and scale with very large pools of real household IPs. ISP proxies prioritize stability and performance as you work with smaller IP pools, but the IPs stay clean, fast, and persistent. But when should you choose each type? Residential proxies are the better fit when you're dealing with heavily protected websites, global marketplaces, price monitoring, ad verification, or any scenario where rotation and human-like traffic patterns are critical. ISP proxies are better for long sessions, login-based workflows, high-volume scraping, and environments where performance directly impacts your pipeline. Pricing reflects these structural differences as well. Residential proxies are typically priced by traffic usage, since each gigabyte of organic traffic is quite expensive. Whereas ISP proxies are usually priced per IP due to their more predictable nature. So to wrap things up, the key takeaway is this. At the core, both proxy types give you trustworthy and highly effective IPs, but they trade off flexibility and consistency differently. Residential IPs give you the best online authenticity, and ISP proxies offer long-duration sessions and unmatched speeds. If you have any questions regarding the proxies, their use cases, and how to choose the best ones for your specific needs, email support@oxylabs.io or write to us via the live chat on our homepage. Also, consider joining our Discord community where we discuss all things web scraping. Thank you for watching and see you next time.